Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Music Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Welcome on in, my friends. Happy motherfucking Monday. Let's get it, baby. How we all doing? How we feeling? How's your week? What's going down? What are we all on today? What's good, man? How we doing? How we doing? Well, let's fucking get it. I'm your host, Zom Slays. Per usual, for those of you that are new here, this is episode 169 of the Music Mondays podcast, my friends. Strap in because we got a pretty loaded episode for you guys here tonight. A couple things to go through, lots of stuff to kind of talk about, weekly recap stuff. We're gonna go through some submissions, and we have a whole lot of really good stuff on deck. So let's get into it, my friends. Again, today's Monday, April 15th. April's going by relatively normal. Time is funny like that, man. Sometimes days just fucking they just blend, and then all of a sudden a month goes by. Then you got April where it feels actually pretty steady, which is nice. But let's get into it, my friends. So, let's talk weekly recap stuff. Let's talk about discussion segments. Now let's talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so, and all that jazz. So, let's start off with some weekly recap stuff, chat. Again, today's April 15th. Per usual, Music Mondays basic logo shirts are in stock right now at limited quantities. We still have smalls, mediums, and larges. You'll see some promo go out for that this week. We didn't manage to come up with some new stuff last week, so a big goal of ours this week is to continue to promote the remaining Music Mondays merch pieces. So again, if that's something you're interested in, definitely let us know, hit us up, and go check out all the current merch promotion posts that we have out right now. So we kicked off last week with a brand new roster announcement. Mr. Fantastic Fox is now part of the Music Mondays writing team. Welcome them, my friends. Welcome. This is a person that Young Jay actually referred to us, and they've been nothing but a bunch of good energy, to be honest with you. So I'm definitely excited to see their first piece go out, and very happy to have them on the team. So welcome them, and if you see them around, show them some motherfucking love, baby. Let's see here. So that was actually on Tuesday. Thursday, because SoundCloud Sunday submissions open on Wednesday, along with a podcast update. But a brand new YouTube upload actually went live on Thursday. Communication is key. So that was a segment from episode 160, I believe 167, about 2 weeks ago, where I kind of dove in and spoke about communication between you and your fellow artists, and why that's important, and how you can kind of make that easier on yourself if you're not really like a sociable person. So that YouTube upload is live right now. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. If you already have, thank you for tuning in on the YouTube side of things. Actually, we did hit, in fact, 260 subscribers even. So big W for Music Mondays, big fucking W. We've been inching towards that 260 for quite some time, man. So pretty crazy, but we finally hit it. I'm sure we'll quite possibly lose a sub or two, so we might dip back down. But again, if you're not subbed, make sure you are, and go check out the channel, because we have a ton of really solid uploads over there. So that was Thursday. Definitely go check that out and go check out the channel. A brand new article right now is live on allmusicmondays.com by the homie Ray Lowe. They had a wonderful interview by an artist with the name of Blood of Aza. So definitely go check that out and go show Ray some love. That's a fantastic read, and I know Ray was super hyped on that article. And go check out that and our huge library of stuff that we have going on the All Music Mondays website. Music Mondays Radar Check. That actually came out on Friday as well. Music Mondays Radar Check number 7 is live on all socials. Again, the Music Mondays Radar Check is kind of something where we really wanted to give the community a chance to put some people onto us that we didn't really have our eyes on when we should have. So again, radar check is definitely something that you should be putting your friends onto, maybe tagging them, showing us who we should be looking at, and things like that. So radar check number 7 is live right now, so definitely feel free to go tag anybody like, and we'd be happy to look into them. Episode 168 of the Music Mondays podcast went live on all platforms and YouTube Saturday. Yeah, I mean, realistically, man, we've been killing it with the uploads when it comes down to the show. So episode 168, if you missed it last week, is available pretty much everywhere: Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. You can take us on the go. You can watch the full thing on YouTube as well. But definitely check us out and definitely go show episode 168 some love. Huge shout out to everybody that came through and showed love to last week's episode, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Pretty stacked lineup last week. So again, if you missed episode 168, definitely go check that out and go show that some love, baby. So that was on Saturday. We rolled into Sunday with SoundCloud Sunday Volume 130, which is live right now on our SoundCloud. We had a shit ton of submissions for this week's SoundCloud Sunday, so that was really cool to kind of have that stack through. But SoundCloud Sunday Volume 130 got shown a lot of love, so huge shout out to the community and all of you guys for just showing the premiere SoundCloud playlist some love, because right, like, we are quite literally one of the only platforms that has a consistent SoundCloud playlist like that. So yeah, we are pretty much one of the front runners, if I do say so myself. That's a fact. So definitely go check out SoundCloud Sunday Volume 130. That was curated by me, and actually the art was done by me this week. So definitely go check that out and go show that some love. And again, if you supported it, you submitted, you got on, you even just showed a little bit of love, thank you. That is fucking amazing. So that kind of caps us off on Sunday, and we rolled into Monday today, which is April 15th. And we're here live with episode 169, man. So a couple things before we continue on. I have a really good discussion segment that I kind of want to go over with you guys, and a couple of quick updates for the rest of April. So per usual, Music Mondays is recruiting. We are on the hunt for writers, journalists, designers, curators, media personalities, people that want to do short form and long form media content. We're looking for pretty much all roster spots. So again, if that's something you're interested in, you want to become a part of the Music Mondays team, you want to get a little bit of detail and breakdown on what Music Mondays is all about, definitely go check out our brand new role guide, where I kind of break down all the staff roles on Music Mondays and really explain everything that we have going on here at our platform. So again, if you're interested in any of those roles, writer, journalist, designer, curator, media personality, short form and long form content, definitely let us know, because we'd be happy to have that conversation with you. So again, SoundCloud exclusives is the next thing. So again, Music Mondays is recruiting per usual, you know that, but you can definitely go check out our role guide on YouTube, where we kind of broke down all the Music Monday staff roles. But SoundCloud exclusives. So last week we spoke a little bit about a YouTube exclusives in detail, but SoundCloud exclusives is actually something we've been doing really well with. You'll see a SoundCloud exclusive go live this week, actually, from a surprise artist. So huge shout out to them for submitting a SoundCloud exclusive. But yeah, if you'd like to have an unreleased track hosted and promoted across all of our socials and on our SoundCloud, of course, for free by the Music Mondays team, definitely let us know. And of course, we're only interested in the unreleased version of tracks, right? So feel free to do whatever you want with the track afterwards. You want to push it to all platforms. Maybe you have like a sample you can't put on all platforms. Definitely let us know, and we'll be happy to host that and promote that for free across all of our socials. So again, of course, we just want to serve our supporters over there on SoundCloud with a lot more content, really show some love to other artists in a different way, and really promote them in a different fashion, right? So that's very, very, very important. So again, we are looking for SoundCloud exclusives, and of course, in the same fashion, we are looking for YouTube exclusives. You'll see a video go up this week about YouTube exclusives that we recorded last week on the show. I kind of dove into what we're really looking for when it comes to YouTube stuff, right? Because we've hosted a couple of different types of content over on YouTube when it comes to tracks and things like that, but we're mainly looking for music videos and visuals, lyric videos. Even if you want to host audio on the Music Mondays YouTube channel of about 260 subscribers, and of course hosted and promoted for free by Music Mondays, definitely let us know, because that's going to be something that we start to push pretty heavily. And like I said, you'll see a video go up this week on more of like a detailed guide on like what we're looking for unreleased YouTube content. So YouTube and SoundCloud, we're always looking to host some stuff, so definitely let us know. And of course, definitely go check out the channel if you're interested in any of our content over there. So with those two things out of the way, recruiting, exclusives, what's coming up on Music Mondays? Well, like I said, over the course of the last couple weeks, I've kind of dove into our real spring schedule and what that really looks like for us. So again, we're kind of like heavily focused on 3 things right now. So again, we're really pushing out a lot of back end details for the second Music Mondays album of SoundCloud exclusives. So again, that'll be something that you guys see a little bit of coming out pretty soon. Once the art is finalized, we're pretty much going to go and start that process. So we're going to start curating for our next album relatively soon. And then, of course, Music Mondays merch. We definitely want to get the rest of this merch out to people that definitely want it. So again, we probably won't do another drop this year. We might do something around Christmas time, but these will be the last time that you see these exclusive limited quantity first run of Music Mondays merch. So again, you'll see some more promo go out for that this month as well, just because we still have a few left, and we'd be happy to push those out. So those 2 things, major, absolutely. And then of course Cyberfest 2, which if you don't know, Cyberfest is our online URL Discord festival where we had our really first successful show, to be honest with you. That was like I think it was like an 8-hour show or something like that. It was like 3 to like maybe like midnight or something like that. It was definitely a long show, but we're doing some long-term planning for Cyberfest 2, thinking of artists, trying to get some ideas on how we can improve the event from last year and things like that. But like I've said before, I can't really see the format changing that much, to be honest with you, because we did have a pretty flawless show last year. But I think we'll do some smaller things like shortening people's sets and a lot of that type of jazz, just because I feel like that's just going to make things a lot easier on our end. Because I think last year we had like 15, 20-minute sets, but I think we're going to bump it down to 10-minute sets, especially if we want to have like a decent lineup, right? I think that's very important to having a decent lineup. So probably just some smaller things, but as soon as that gets finalized, that'll be something that we dive into as well. So spring is really all about the bigger events, to be honest with you, and then of course we're gonna expand upon our YouTube and regular weekly content as well, because we have a lot planned for our YouTube. A couple of dates coming up, a couple of things scheduled. So by like the endish of April, we'll have some new episodes of Workshop Wednesday, Feature Friday, Behind the Merch, and of course the breakdown. So there's a couple of things that we're really tinkering on the back end, but relatively gonna stay the same until you see a lot of these new content pieces kind of come out, which will be solid. So that's kind of like the bigger scope of things, but like I said, your weekly and monthly content will stay the same. Nothing's really changing here at Music Mondays. We're just trying to improve, make sure we put out some more better stuff for the community. So that's what we have going on, my friends. That's what we have going on. So before we get into some reactions and reviews, I wanted to dive into some kind of important topics here. It's kind of a very interesting topic that I kind of dove into last night with an artist in the Music Mondays Discord server, and it kind of sparked the question as to where I haven't really spoke about this explicitly on the show. So it's interesting because what we're going to be talking about today for our kind of discussion segment and some underground tips and tricks, right, is because I feel like these are 2 topics, right, but I do feel like they kind of go hand in hand. So essentially what brought up this conversation was people being active in Discord, and I think people don't take as much as an advantage of Discord as they should. So, for instance, even in some bigger servers, of like 1,000 people, sometimes those can be pretty ghost townish if nothing's really going on. So I don't think it's really like a size thing. I think it's more so about the social climate now. So mix like people's lack of awareness of Discord, right? And you kind of have this other angle of like a post pandemic era, right? Because before the pandemic, there was a lot of like, it was very different social wise, right? Especially for like a lot of the younger artists coming up now. Um, because a lot of like the mid 20s guys, they didn't really have this problem. But a lot of like the early 20s, maybe you're like 18, 19, and you were going through school during the pandemic. A lot of that stuff kind of um like had a real long-term effect on the social environment of independent art. I don't think a lot of people talk about that. At least in my eyes and like what I saw and experienced, right? It was a very different world than to what it is now. Because again, many of you know, but if you don't, I started making music in 2017 is when I made my first beat. And um it was a real different climate back then, and it really just has to do with music as a whole because that's always changing as well. So I don't think there's like too many like one factors that kind of like, you know really affect this. But these are the couple that I kind of thought of that was like, like I kind of noticed like a little bit of a trend here. Lados, what's good? I hope you're well. Welcome on in, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. um yeah, I started to kind of notice this trend post pandemic when the pandemic started to kind of slow down and things like that. People just weren't as sociable anymore. Whether that has to do with them kind of going through a rough time during like the height of the pandemic, or maybe they just had like a lot of social um bumps in the road when the pandemic happened, right? Like it was so different for so many people. But to kind of like put it on like a smaller scale, what that did to like the music community and the underground community is it really kind of changed the attitudes and like the um like social skills of a lot of people. And I'm not saying like social skills and like carrying conversation or anything, but much like we were talking about with Discord being active, I don't think it's just a Discord problem. I definitely think it's a little bit of people just not being used to socializing again, right? Because I mean, realistically, the way that I always talk about it with like a lot of my guys and like my roster of artists is like during the pandemic, like we pretty much lost 2 years of our lives, right? Like 2020 to 2022 was pretty much dog shit. You know what I mean? Like we lost a lot of time. Nobody did anything. The world kind of shut down for a while. So you factor that in with um how it is now. I feel like it's just gonna take a little bit more time for people to like come back into that like regular social shell. Um, because we all know the world just kind of changed forever, right? So there's no really going back to normal. But I do think the social side of things can soften up a bit. Kind of like the video that we put out last week, why communication is key and why communication between your fellow artists is key, right? So that kind of relates to this video as well because um much like I was talking to one of the artists in the Music Money's Discord, like I was saying, like you don't necessarily need to be on social media 24/7, right? But if you make like a healthy, conscious habit to like check in at least daily, if not more, on your socials and kind of like, send a few messages, check in with people, blah, 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 blah. I think it's a real healthy way to go about it, but you also got to look at it as if it's like a tool and it's a community, right? Like you can't just look at it like it's doom scrolling. You kind of got to make an effort to network like that, right? Oh, let's get a collab in. Yo, this artist's sick. Check out your peers' new music and things like that. So, um, I feel like that's a big issue that's definitely gotten better, but it's still not all the way normal yet, right? Just because people just um they're clicked up, they have their friend groups. Who knows? Like you could have a lot of reasons for this. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I do feel like the pandemic was a big shadow when it came down to that. And it being 2024 now when this is recorded, um we're kind of like 2 years behind. You know what I mean? Because we lost so much time. Um, so it kind of explains why people are a little bit like shaky when it comes down to like meeting new people or socializing or things like that. And of course you're gonna have those people that are just like they're not very social people anyway. That's not really what I'm talking about, but there was this a bit more openness in the pre-pandemic than there is now. And like I keep saying, I don't think there's any one factor for that, but I do think they all kind of go hand in hand. I really think that there's like a big thing here. Like a real common trait. So, I say all that to say this, right? I think Discord is one of the easiest and most useful platforms that any artist or creator could ever use, right? So you got to keep Discord in your rotation, but in addition to like the communication thing, don't be afraid to introduce yourself to people, right? Especially when it comes to like having a legit music career, right? You're gonna travel, you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna want to be flexible like that. So doing it online first is like way easier than in person, as we all know, but it kind of preps you for the future. So that's why I kind of heavily focus on that. And like I said, you don't necessarily need to just fucking doom scroll all the time and make the internet your life, right? I don't think that's healthy either. But if you look at it in a way where it's benefiting you and it's a tool and it's something that you kind of got to like water like a plant, right? You'll kind of see like the benefit of it and you'll be like, okay, and you start to like find your niche, you start to find your friends, your crew and things like that cuz it all starts with like you know, Discord's like the AOL of the 2020s, right? So, for those of you youngins out there, AOL and AIM was like super popular back in like the early 2000s, and Discord is just like that. Discord is definitely just like that, and it's obviously a lot better in every single way, right? Because as technology and things like that kind of moved on, everything got better. So that's kind of like how I look at Discord now. You know what I mean? And once you really get yourself in the habit of checking it and like using the interface, you kind of understand. And I think what wigs a lot of people out is, this is kind of out of our control, but Discord's always changing their UI, which is stupid. But outside of that, I think the vast difference of Discord on mobile and PC is another thing that kind of weirds people out because they're not really like used to one or the other at the same time. Because using Discord on mobile phones and then using Discord on your PC is just a wildly different experience. So it's not wildly different, right? But it like the mobile version is condensed down a lot more, and the PC version is something that's like what most people kind of get used to, right? Because that's where you mainly use Discord. So, I think that's a big thing. But again, the way you kind of combat that, obviously, is to just kind of continuously use it, right? And kind of brush up on it. And that's pretty much the only way you get better at anything, right? Is constantly doing it. So, Discord's the same way. But I thought that was an interesting topic of conversation in terms of like a post pandemic era, a post pandemic scene, things like that, man. Like, I really think that those are like uh just super important topics, and I definitely want to hear the community's thoughts on things like that, and what was your experience like during the pandemic and post pandemic being an artist, and what changes have you noticed, what differences and things like that. We'd love to spark this conversation, and if there's anything else that you'd like to see us dive into here when it comes to topics like that, we'd definitely love to have more conversations on the show. But again, point is, use Discord more, use socials more, introduce yourself to people more. Make sure you're kind of putting yourself out there. The internet's free right now, right? And there's a lot of opportunity out there. So make sure you're taking chances where you can. Just as a friendly reminder. So with that said, make sure you subscribe, like the video, all that good jazz. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazz is uploaded here on the channel. So make sure you go show the channel and these artists some love. Let's get it, baby. Alrighty, chat. Alrighty. So, um, that was a great talk. I think that question and that kind of topic, I could talk about for hours. and I'd like to talk about that with somebody here on the show in the future for sure, just to get their insight on it and talk about that. Because there's so many people that, uh, you know, experience like different versions of the pandemic, right? Like I feel like that's like a big thing that not a lot of people talk about is, you know, the vastly different experiences that people had, right? Some people were going through hell and they got family members sick and this and the third. Some people just fucking isolated for 2 years, and then some people just didn't even affect, you know. So, um, definitely a topic of discussion there for sure. But moving on, my friends, let's talk. So, reactions and reviews. Today's submissions are kind of special because we had the our submission tweet get a little bit of traction here, and we ended up getting close to 50 submissions, which might be like an all time record. I think we've hit this like once or twice. Just because sometimes the algorithm will just pick it up like in a crazy way. So super funny. But with that said, not a lot of them are following uh Music Mondays on Twitter. Tisk tisk. So I think that's a big thing as well. Is you know, you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention. Say out of like the 50 submissions, about 30 of them in fact do follow Music Mondays, but there is a good chunk that does not follow Music Mondays. So again, make sure you read the guidelines and make sure you read the flyers and things like that, just so you don't get skipped over during the show. So let's talk, man. Let's go over this. How do you submit to the show for those of you that are new here and things like that? So, tweets will always be in the same format. They'll always read artists and creatives. Submissions are open for live reviews on Music Mondays, live on 4/15/24 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/SongPlays, which is here now. If you'd like to submit your music, artwork, fashion, or digital creations, drop your links to portfolios below. All art forms are welcome. So many of you guys know the rule, but again, if you're new here, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. Everything from graphic design to photography to YouTube edits to instrumentals, acoustics, music videos, you name it, we've reacted to it here on the show. Even merch. So definitely feel free to submit anything here to the show. And feel like you deserve some spotlight on Music Mondays, we'd be happy to work that out with you. And you know, be happy to have you on the show, man, because we've been doing this for quite a while. So, contrary to our name, like I said, we've reacted to pretty much everything here on the show. So again, feel free to submit anything you'd like. For our show limit, of course, just to make the show a little bit more palatable to watch back, and of course, we are a weekly live show, so it takes a little bit of pressure off of the team, knowing that we don't have to do like an 8 hour show every Monday. Um, and again, like I said, the main reason was just making it palatable to watch back. I mean, sometimes it's good to throw on the background, and you could really argue that uh, a 4 hour show is still pretty long, but compared to like the 6, 7, 8 hour shows that we used to do, not too bad. So again, 4 hour show limit, just because we are a weekly live show and one of the only weekly live shows, so it takes a little bit of pressure off and makes the show a little bit more watchable. And of course, submissions are free. They always have been free, and they always will be free for the Music Mondays podcast. But you must be following Music Mondays on Twitter to be eligible. Again, not only to help spread our message, grow our community, and things like that, but of course, just to pay respect to everybody else that does go out of the way to follow Music Mondays and submit their tracks. And of course, you gain access to a wonderful community of very, very talented creators. So it's kind of a win-win in my book, but that's the only thing that we do ask is that you're following Music Mondays on Twitter before you submit. And of course, Patreon subscribers have their submissions played first every single week. So again, if you're a Music Mondays Patreon during the time that you submit, your submissions will be played first here on the show every single week. So again, you can subscribe to the Music Mondays podcast or Patreon, I mean, at any tier, and you'll gain access to the Music Mondays Fast Pass along with a bunch of goodies. But the Music Mondays Fast Pass allows you to submit to the show and get played first every single week for the duration that you're subscribed to the show. And of course, that's a perk with every single tier of subs. So if you want to go subscribe for $5, that's fine. If you want to go subscribe for 20, that's great too. Whatever you feel the need to, but you'll always gain access at any tier to the Music Mondays Fast Pass. And you'll see some really great Patreon updates come this spring as well, because they added a bunch of new features that I would love to kind of incorporate here, but that's another topic. But again, Patreon subscribers get played first each week on the show. And of course, I think the only other thing that we got to dive into is submissions close. So submissions close about a couple hours before the show starts every single week. Just to get a head count and just to really make sure that we don't have any late submissions that, mess up the order and things like that. So good rule of thumb is that you're submitting within like the 6-day mark or so. Because of course, if you're watching the show here live, submissions open tomorrow, April 16th for next week's show. If you're watching this on YouTube, submissions are already open for next week's show, so go submit your track. Make sure you check the date. But yeah, that's just to make sure that we don't have any rogue submissions and things like that, and just so we can get like a proper head count. So you have about 6.5 days to submit your track. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So outside of that, those are all the major details for the Music Mondays podcast and how to submit. And of course, we have guides on our website. We have a brand new how to submit guide on our YouTube channel as well. So if you're interested in any more further details on how to submit to the Music Mondays podcast, definitely go check those out and go show those some love. And of course, feel free to ask a question or DM, comment, anything like that. We'd be happy to have that conversation with you. So, like I said, we have a shit ton of submissions tonight, chat, but there is a good chunk that is not following the Music Mondays podcast. So that's kind of like the double whammy of kind of having a couple tweets do numbers and things like that is we do have a lot of submissions, which is great, but how many of them actually paid attention to direction is like another question. So, but positive note, the good chunk of them do follow Music Mondays or did follow Music Mondays when they submitted. So if you did, W for you, appreciate you. So, we're going to go through the Patreons first, and then we're going to check out the rest of the community submissions. I believe we only have one Patreon tonight. I'm going to take a quick scroll all the way from the bottom, and then see where we land. So, yeah, we definitely got a ton for sure. But we just got to peep out any Patrons. All right, so Jordan has one tonight. Jordan definitely has one tonight. We'll definitely get Jordan's first. I think outside of that, Jordan might be the only solo Patron tonight. Quite possibly. Believe so. All right, so we're going to kick off with Jordan, and then we'll start down the line of community submissions. So, for those of you that don't know, Jordan, a very talented hip-hop vocalist and producer, submitted Don't Let Me Fall. Now, again, Jordan's had a really stellar 2024, about 4 months in, and they've done a lot of great pieces, right? You're talking collabs, projects, things like that. So I'm definitely excited to see where Jordan landed today. Let's see what we got, man. Don't Let Me Fall. I am down. I am absolutely down for the cause, my friend. So, 46 minutes ago, actually. Holy shit. 30-minute writing exercise, covered by Michael, new music soon. Show in Columbus on May 11th. That's fire. If you're in Columbus, definitely go show Jordan some love because they've been affiliates. All right, so we got some lyrics, 30-minute writing exercise. So I'm assuming this was written in like 30 minutes. So take a look. Jordan, Don't Let Me Fall.
It may be glorious. It's going to fall hard.
He's going to fall right now.
And he's gonna fall.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Alright, let's get this in. I need to get some sleep. Alright, yeah, let's go. Like I misunderstood when I was given directions. I end up right back where I was in reflection. Like I guess from the outside I'm not what's expected.
Okay.
I guess what comes next is they make like my left wrist. I mean it'd be smart to watch, even better listen. I've been stacking collabs that I know about to make them feel different. I can see it in the distance, I believe it was written. I play my songs loud, I'm trying to make moms proud. Now I can't calm down, still ain't learned my lesson. What am I doing wrong now? Hold on, don't let me fall down. Oh man, I'm falling again, I'm falling back in. Push my chips up on the table like I'm all in my friend. I'm calling this blender, producing a lot and writing a bit. My means and my real face, cause this is where I cannot pretend. I swear I said what I meant, I care about what comes out my pen. It's clearer now, I'm adjusting again. Although my fear of drought really won't come to an end. But hear me out, this is not just a trend. Idols falling off, room to ascend. It's like they're calling down who you gonna send.
Damn.
Maybe glorious. It's going to fall hard.
See, now that's a special track because that's one of those that if you're a supporter of Jordan, which we are of course, um, you're gonna want to spin that back, right? Because it's short enough to be like, oh damn, I wish I had a second verse or some shit like that. But that's kind of like what makes those special, right? So well done, well done. Especially with the assumption that it was written in 30 minutes, that was fantastic. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's let's dive in. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, hmm. So instrumental. It's a very Jordan-like instrumental, to be honest with you, especially with the samples and the drums. Very, very old school boom bap-ish, but very like modern flavor as well. So, kind of hits the mark in my opinion for what you can always expect from Jordan. Um, so that's what's fantastic. Right off the bat, you could kind of tell that for sure. But the mix is great per usual. Not really a shocker out of Jordan. This is definitely an artist that has a pretty consistent mix when it comes to their instrumentals and vocals. But you always want to point that out. Nothing clashed, too overbearing. I thought the sound selection was great. Sample usage was great. Nothing that was like too crazy, to be honest with you. But not really a shocker, but just something you always want to point out as well. Um, so instrumental makes solid. Instrumental shining star. So this one's funny because at first I was kind of thinking the melody, but then as Jordan's flow just kind of like got stuck with me, I was like, nah, it's got to be the drums. I just felt like the drums influenced the flow so much, and Jordan was able to just kind of ride this one out a lot, and just be real smooth with it. So for me, it's got to be the drums, sound selection, drum patterns, all of it. So Shining Star definitely the drums for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal shining or no, vocal mix fantastic. This is more of like a raw esque mix as well. It's not like too raw, right? Where it's like abnormally like you just didn't touch it, but it's still smooth as well, nice and level, nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that really stuck out to me because this is such a writing lyric like focused track. So I really feel like it was important to put a lot of emphasis on listening. So clean, crisp, clear vocals, perfect. But nothing too crazy, like I said. Vocals definitely right where they need to be, nice and level, even. Everything cuts through nicely as well, nothing clashing. Like I said, drums cut through nicely. Definitely hits all the boxes for sure. So instrumental mix or no, vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. Okay. So again, this is one where I could pick a couple different things here. I could definitely pick a couple different things. I think a big one here is writing that kind of jumps out at you because there's a lot of like great like easy punchlines that are like okay like that was solid as hell and the flow and cadence was the other thing that like immediately will grab your ear. So I do feel like that's a really positive part of this track is flow and cadence is something that you're immediately gonna like dive into, like especially like the first time you hear this track, without a doubt, flow and cadence for sure. But that's why writing kind of was up there for me as well. Um, so to be honest, probably flow and cadence and delivery, just because it hooks you in so fast and you just immediately want to continue listening, right? So, um, yeah, flow and cadence and delivery for sure, for sure. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So we have some Michael art coming through here, and actually this one's kind of interesting because it has a very different color palette than we're used to. But this one's very nature-esque, late night in the forest kind of feel. But it also has this like watercolor, um, just like very like special kind of feel as well, like mystical almost or eerie as well. But for a quick track like this, I think this is a fantastic piece. Fantastic. Definitely no gripes with this. Um, really solid choice to be honest. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme. So this is a very much an honest track, and especially when it comes to like a 30-minute writing exercise, I feel like Jordan like does really well uh with like writing a song at any time, any place, any circumstances, anything like that. Just because they instantly can pull from within inside themselves. And I feel like this track kind of, confirms that, right? Because, a writing exercise and 90% of the lyrics are super honest. Like super super fucking honest, and that's how you know it's like genuine because it's coming from a genuine place. That's one thing I really loved about this is it still had that like quick freestyle, like I wrote this in like a couple minutes kind of deal, but it was still filled with that like Jordan passion. That's how you know Jordan's writing is really crazy, right? Because they have this ability to pull from inside themselves, and I think that's such a good thing to have as any artist, So well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Jordan. Thank you so much for your submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow Jordan on SoundCloud. They're 2 followers away from 80, goddammit. Go show him some love over there, man. Shit. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you follow Jordan on Twitter. They're 7 followers away from 420. Getting Jordan to 420 followers before 420 would be fire. Absolutely fucking fire. Per usual, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, man. We're about 10 away, so make sure you go show the channel and these artists some motherfucking love. And per usual, like I said, we upload 2 times a week, man. Every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, whole lot of good jazzes over there. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. If you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. So, huge shout out to Jordan. That was our Patreon submission of the night. Huge shout out to the rest of our Patreon crew as well. Ryuki, Blank Thought, Kruker, Jordan, and Mark. You guys are amazing. Thank you. But with that said, we're gonna hop into our community submissions, my friends. Let's fucking get it, baby. Okay, so we're just gonna go right down the stack, honestly. So, up first we have the homie Mishka. And it's been a while since we've heard from them. It's probably been, probably like a year or something like that. But a very talented alternative producer submitted, hey, I know I've submitted tracks before from the standpoint of a producer-engineer, but my first solo track ever came out today, and I would love to share it with you. The track is called Let You In. It's an electronic track, and I would most likely call it melodic house with some vocal elements. Hope you enjoy, and thank you for listening. Let's fucking get it, Mishka. We'd love to hear that. Okay. All right, so let's pop it open a new tab. Let's go see what Mishka's been up to, man. Because like I said, it's been quite some time. So I'm excited to dive into a solo track, man. Fucking go. Okay. Let's get it. Mishka, Let You In. Let's get it. Okay. Damn. Okay. Holy shit. Damn. Okay. Shit. That was an insane. Hold on, we gotta refer back to the caption. Same point, but my first solo track ever came out today. That's a crazy first solo track with vocals, man. That is really something. Okay, okay. Gotta break this down. Gotta talk about it. Let's get into it. So, we're gonna talk about three things per usual. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of "Let You In." So, let's talk instrumental. Right off the bat, man, the mix is fantastic. Mishka, like they mentioned in their submission tweet, they've submitted tracks before from the standpoint of here. So we already know from past submissions that they have no trouble with their mixes whatsoever, just because that's their bread and butter, right? So right off the bat, like I said, mix is fucking fantastic. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. Vocals sit nice. Nothing really like that like stuck out to me that was a bit off at all. I think the mix is right where it needs, 100%. Very comfortable spot for sure. So instrumental mix absolutely fantastic, not even a question. Nothing clashing, too overbearing, like I said. Um, Instrumental Shining Star. So this is a very powerful instrumental, right? Lots going on, lots of drums, but right off the bat, like I said, the mix is great. But what is the shining star of the instrumental? You know, drums is like a clear, totally like a clear fucking like number one here. But the more I thought about it towards the end of the track, the structure of the instrumental was absolutely fantastic. Just because it wasn't too erratic, but it kept evolving, and um, you could see Mishka's producer side kind of come out and really like execute a proper vision of what they wanted this song to feel and look and sound like. So for me, structure, 100%. I felt like the structure was perfect. It was telling a story. The instrumental alone could be a track. So structure for me, definitely. The instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals, because this is the first time they've submitted a vocal track from their own library. So their first solo track, which is really crazy. But again, the mix is really solid, but that's not a surprise, right? Because a lot of their tracks that they've submitted to the show before have had super, super clean mixes. And like I said, engineering and production is their bread and butter. So it's no surprise that they have a lock on that. But diving into vocals, definitely didn't affect that whatsoever. Vocal mix definitely still very much on point. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Nothing that really like again stuck out to me at all, especially with it being like a more melodic type of track. Everything's right where it needs to be again for sure. Um, so vocal mix definitely solid. Vocal shining star. Um, you know, the writing is really solid. Just because it has this like catchiness to it, but it's super simple as well. So you kind of like get the story and like you understand the vibe like relatively quickly. Um, but I think I think for me it's the flow and cadence and the delivery specifically. I felt like how this was recorded and you like the quality is one thing, but you know you can't really fake delivery or flow and cadence and enthusiasm in a track, right? There's only so much of that that a mix could really clean up. And for me, in this track, it's definitely flow and cadence and delivery, just because it felt like they were really feeling themselves, and it was really simple yet catchy and high energy kind of feelings to get behind. So absolutely. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure. Vocal solid, definitely the flow, cadence, and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics. I mean, come on, man, come on, like this is crazy. Um, it has the nightclub feel that this song gives off, which is solid. Um, track title top left, artist name top right, brand name bottom left. I mean, not much more you could ask for. And I think another notable thing here is the quality. Got to be like 4K. You know what I mean? Like super super high quality. So checks off all the boxes, and I think it's really solid for capturing the energy of this track. But it also like is a good like first single kind of art. You know what I mean? It's a cover. You can actually show people this that you're like, oh, you do vocals now, da da da. This is totally one that's going to catch the eye and keep people interested, right? So aesthetics definitely on point. No question. Overall theme, I mean, kind of a relatively simple theme when you think about it, but I think it was the way it was executed that really pulled it all together, right? Like they said, it kind of has this like electronic dance house pop ish kind of direction. But I do feel like Mishka was definitely still telling a story here with their lyrics. Like it wasn't just like repeated blah blah. Like it was very much a um very it was an honest way of expressing themselves, right? Like I'd imagine writing something like this is probably pretty interesting just because this track gives me the feeling that their vision kind of came together properly, right? Because it's still like lighthearted, but if you actually like dissect the lyrics a little bit, it's still very much like meaningful, right? And still very much like an important story here to unravel. And I think the cover as well kind of ate that a little. Um, so theme absolutely on point, man. Absolutely on point. With that said, huge shout out to Mishka. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much, much love. Make sure you go follow them on Spotify. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 3.4K on the Bird app, my friends. Go push them over there and go show them some motherfucking love. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love. And if you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. So let's continue on. Up next, we have a artist by the name of I Am Legend, a first-time submitting artist, by the way. So I'm going to go in totally blind, never heard of him. A producer from Brooklyn, New York, playing guitar since 2010 and producing since 2015. So they've got their reps. My beats are in the link tree or email me at email. Okay, let's get into it. I Am Legend, first-time submitting artist. Let's see what we got here. We got a YouTube music link, which I think is relatively rare. I this might be one of the first YouTube music submissions we've gotten. No bullshit, chat. But like I said, a first time submitting artist. I Am Legend, from Brooklyn, New York. First time here on the show. Playing guitar since 2010 and producing since 2015. All right, let's get into it. I Am Legend, Rested. Go.
wanted to the show. Now I lost the fuck to give, but deep down I just wanna help. But I had to find myself and figure all my shit out.
Okay.
You had to figure all that shit out, man. Journey of self-discovery and self-realization.
Tapped in with my higher self, I was one within the mind. I'm number two, I gotta focus on my body now. Had my head up in the clouds, plant my feet into the ground. Now I walk my path, stay true to God the best way that I can. I ain't perfect, but I'm learning, sometimes that shit overload. Rather smoke my weed in harder ways and stare into the world. As I write down all these thoughts and it's reaching everyone. Power in our frequencies came together, built a home. And I'm sure you understand where nigga coming from. Another misfit from a broken home that's raised in chaos. That shit don't define me, I stay different, always break the mold. Always stay true to myself, keep my eyes set on the ghost. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams. Tap and live this life for me, fuck it, let's live all our dreams.
Okay. Solid outro as well. That outro was really crazy. That was a great first time submission, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's dive in. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. Talk about the instrumental, we're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Arrested. So, instrumental is very interesting, super unique. Not exactly your conventional alt rock, alt hip hop kind of instrumental, right? It's definitely unique, especially in like the sound selection kind of area. So that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. Just because it's not like not insanely unique in the aspect that it's going to turn anybody off, but it definitely like perks the ears up a little bit, and you're definitely excited to see like where it goes. Well, let's talk mix. Mix is solid, to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice. Drums definitely cut through nicely. Melodies are great. Nothing in the instrumental mix that kind of threw me off at all, to be honest with you. I definitely think this is one that's right where it needs to be, for sure. Especially with like so many live instruments kind of working together, and as we all know, sometimes mixing those can be like a whole process, or it's like, okay, that was pretty easy, you know what I mean? So it can go both ways. So with all that in mind, the instrumental mix is absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you. So instrumental mix solid, instrumental shining star. I like the melodies, man. The melodies were so prominent throughout the whole track. Drums were a really great support, but the melodies were really memorable to me. It gave off this like eerie, almost like ethereal kind of feel. So definitely the melodies for me. Definitely for so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, very interesting. Solid for a first time submission as well. Again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that really like stuck out to me that was like a bit off. Crisp, clean, clear, level. Nothing that really threw me off, to be honest with you, looking back on it. Kind of left a lot of like the raw emotion in there without it kind of being too raw, right? So I think that's a really big positive as well. So with that said, vocal mix definitely solid. Like I said, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Drums cut through nicely. So vocal mix on point. Vocal shining star. So I hadn't really decided while I was listening. Like there's a couple things that caught my attention, but I think the one thing that stuck out to me the most was the writing itself, right? It felt like very honest, pure writing that wasn't just about something that they wanted to talk about, but it was also something that they wanted to get off their chest, right? I think getting certain things in the song off their chest was a real big goal here, for sure. So with that said, definitely writing for sure, definitely writing. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Fantastic cover. I love these kind of minimalistic covers, right? This one definitely has like a very like ominous feel to it, right? It somewhat like a horror movie cover, but not really. Kind of lighthearted. But super simple. I love the white border. Like I'm just a fan of these kind of minimalistic ones. Not like all the time, right? But I do think that they work out in certain aspects for sure. So aesthetics definitely on point. Definitely on point. Overall theme. So this is definitely kind of a deeper track, right? I do feel like Legend definitely exposed a lot of like inner feelings that a lot of people go through but don't talk about enough, right? A lot of like self healing, kind of finding yourself throughout life as you get older. Like your early 20s and your mid 20s are fucking weird as shit. So you kind of go back and forth with yourself for quite some time until you realize like what you're gonna do and like how to kind of operate this body that we all have, right? So I feel like Legend definitely did expose a lot of that, and you know, um, tell a lot about how they are and went through a lot of the stuff that um a lot of people go through, right? But it's just their journey and kind of you know, I don't think this is like a definitive track either. Like it very much had the feeling of like okay, like we're still progressing kind of thing, you know. But it was almost just like checking in, and like I feel like the track title "Rested" kind of plays on that a little bit, right? Because you do take some time to rest and like find yourself and like really kind of dive in with shit, and you really start learning yourself. Solid theme, man. Solid theme, absolutely. With that said, huge shout out to I Am Legend. Make sure you go follow them on YouTube. Go show them some love over there on YouTube Music. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 1 follower away from 970 or 11 away from 980. Go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, my friends. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a lot of good jazz is over there on the channel. So, with that said, let's get right back into it, chat. And of course, if you already have subscribed to the Music Mondays YouTube channel, we appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it. So, up next, we have a Music Monday staff member, actually. Music Monday staff designer and writer Con Binny is also a vocalist and a producer and plenty of other titles as well. But it's been a while since we've heard from them here on the show. Probably like since like winter, I think is the last one I can remember. I'd say winter, man. Probably like December, November-ish. But yeah, again, a very talented alternative vocalist submitted Too Much and Never Enough. Okay, we are with it. We are so with it. Like I said, it's been a while since we heard from Con Binny, so this will be very, very interesting. I am down. Con Binny 2004, Too Much and Never Enough. Let's go. Oh shit. What an interesting track. Holy shit. Okay. So this is really crazy in comparison from the last submission. So, a couple things to talk about here, man. Let's break it down. Let's dive in. So, we're talking about three things. We're talking about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so let's talk instrumental. I'm gonna go ahead and assume self prod. Probably, most likely, but regardless, I like the choice. It's a very solid instrumental choice, right? Like I definitely like the choice. It's one of those laid back kind of like you can do anything you want on it kind of instrumentals. So, I like the choice, 100%. Uh, Instrumental mix, fantastic to be honest with you. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. I thought a lot of the melodies were great. Thought when the drums kicked in, that was great too. Drum selection was awesome. Um, Vocals sat nice in the instrumental. Everything cut through nicely. Nothing that really like threw me off about the instrumental itself. Especially with it being such a live instrument based instrumental. I think it's mixed to right where it needs to be for sure. Um, so instrumental mix solid, absolutely. Instrumental shining star. Um, I like the structure a lot too, but the bass and the melody is just crazy. Like you can even see it in this waveform that like these melodies play such a major part. Um, so for me, it's got to be melodies. To be honest with you, I felt like they were just so memorable. It just stuck out, you know. Um, so definitely melodies for sure. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. It's a very interesting vocal mix approach, right? It's definitely a insane step forward for Conbini, especially like when you consider like the last submission that we had. You can tell that they've been in the lab, kind of finally crafting engineering, production, things like that. Even just overall delivery. They've definitely been in the lab, kind of working on themselves, which I think shows in this track. It shows in this track. Because 5 days ago, right? So super new, super new. So the mix has this like very much like radio electric, almost pop like kind of mix, but it's not doing too much. I don't think it's like overbearing at all. Definitely sat well in the instrumental, like I said. Drums cut through nicely, especially when like the drums kicked in. Like vocals are crazy, really crazy. I think they hit the mark on what I think they wanted to, sound like on this track. So this was great, in my opinion. It fit the instrumental a lot. It definitely fit the instrumental a lot. That's for sure. Um, so vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Um, hmm. I'm kind of torn between two things, right? I definitely want to talk about writing, but I think the other hidden one that I think you could look over is flow and cadence and delivery. I do feel like the flow and cadence and delivery was really solid here, and like a massive jump in like skill ceiling from like 4 or 5 months ago, right? They've just kind of developed their style, they've developed how they record and things like that. So, for me, flow and cadence and delivery, just because they've improved so much, right? So I think that's a really cool thing to see, especially for us here on the show. Um, so fantastic. So instrumental solid, definitely the melodies, vocal solid, the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics, Ether, Conbini 2004. Insane. This kind of reminds me of like a 90s anime almost, right? But it's like deep fried and very personalized. And I do believe that this is the cover for a project as well. So is it project worthy? Absolutely. Not even a question. Absolutely project worthy. I love the color palette and like the red offsets it all. So that's kind of like the final like solid stamp, right? Is the red. So well done. Aesthetics absolutely on point. Um, Overall theme. So I really feel like it's in these first like 4 lines here. How much is enough? How much is too much? How do I feel like not enough and too much? So it's kind of like this internal struggle, much like we talked about with the last submission, that I think a lot of people go through, right? You're kind of getting older, and you know, you're learning things and you're kind of experiencing life. Like I said, like your early and mid 20s are so weird, man. So fucking weird because you're struggling with so many things, right? You're trying to figure out who you are, trying to figure out your career, trying to figure out your personal life, your family. You know what I mean? So you have this like middle ground as to where you're trying to be perfect at like the wrong time, right? And I definitely sense a big struggle here in this track just because it's very honest, and this is really what music is for, right? Because this is like such like a healthy way to get a lot of these feelings out, right? As to where you just don't like go crazy and self destruct. You can actually write it on paper and make it tangible. And that's what I feel like Konbini did here, is really take a lot of the inside of like their feelings and a lot of stuff that they've been going through at the time they wrote this, to just really put it out there and really like get it off their chest, you know. And again, like super healthy way to deal with shit like that, you know. You know, that's why I always advise people to make as many songs like this as you want, and just kind of like push the boundary as far as like what you want to put in your music and like how much it helps you out, right? Because there's always going to be somebody that, you know, probably is feeling the same thing that you're feeling, right? Like there's a really high chance, really high chance of that. Definitely don't neglect putting out songs like this, because it may help somebody who comes upon it, man, for sure. With that said, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge shout out to Konbini. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are 4 followers away from 100. That's a great milestone, man. Go show Konbini some love over there on the cloud. And of course, make sure you follow Konbini on Twitter. They are actually 100 followers away from 1K, or of course 10 followers away from 910. So go show them some love over there on the Bird app. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of YouTube free upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazzes over there. So go show these artists on the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Get it. All right. What a great kickoff to the community submissions. Like, holy shite. Alrighty, chat. Let's continue on here. So, up next, we have another first-time submitting artist by the name of Johnny Smoke. Trying to raise the bar a little. Modern-day poet, vocalist. W bio. Love that bio. So we got the portfolio with the song whip, and we got check out Johnny Smoke on SoundCloud. Alright, let's pop up on the SoundCloud. So again, first-time submitting artist, so we're going in blind. Greater Boston area. Shout out to Boston homies. Sure. So it looks like he dropped a project. Yeah, okay, so new stuff. But okay, so this is Spotlight stuff. And he dropped the track 6 days ago. Okay. So let's check the most recent. See what we got here. First time submitting artist Smoke. Going in blind. We don't know what to expect. Let's get it. The stars don't align.
Ooh, babe, I'm a classic, waiting to happen. The stars don't align for me. Ooh, babe, it's tragic. Back when I was younger, you had me convinced I would one day be set free. But the stars don't align for me. The stars won't align for me. Now don't go trying to make a miracle that'll last a lifetime. Because I've moved on. Because I'm finally happy again. And I finally accept that the stars won't align for me. I hope they never do. I love to be right, but if I'm gonna be wrong, let me be wrong when I say the stars don't align for me. Let me be wrong that young Johnny Smoke ain't got a chance to hit the lick. No, it's partly on you and partly on me. They're asking me if this is what I really believe. What's the last thing I thought it could be? Pay it no mind, so little it had me feeling even like the squirrel that's blind. Now a hard time's gonna find my enemies. Hope I try and keep them few and far between. Because those hard times, they never gonna leave. The stars don't align for me. The stars won't align for me. Ooh, babe, I'm a classic, waiting to happen. The stars don't align for me. Ooh, babe, it's tragic. Back when I was younger, you had me convinced I would one day be set free. But the stars don't align for me. Well, you and I have to deal with this reality. Yeah, at one point they really had me, but sadly I've grown. Might say this world has turned me to stone, while the stars won't align for me. So can you really blame me for making a choice, for coming with all this hurt in my voice? Because I thought, really you might need to be lured, and these dimes have quite the allure. And I see one, and I just want more, but the stars don't align for me. The stars don't align for me. Oh babe, I'm a classic, waiting to happen. The stars don't align for me. Oh baby, it's tragic. Back when I was younger, you had me convinced I would one day be set free. The stars don't align for me. The stars won't align for me. Now don't go trying to make a miracle that'll last a lifetime, because I've moved on, because I'm finally happy again, and I've finally accepted that the stars won't align for me. The stars don't align for me.
Okay. All right. Much to dive into here. All right. Let's break this one down. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of the track. So, first time submitting artists here. So let's see how long they've actually been creating music. So it looks like they all have the same cover, which is very interesting. A lot of music for sure. There's a lot of tracks here. 2 years. Trying to get like a start vision date here of really when all this started. So 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and then looks like they didn't drop much. There's like a 2 year gap here. Okay. All right, so about 4, 2 to 4 years, give or take a year, right? So with that said, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's have a discussion. So, let's talk instrumental. I like the choice a lot. Whoever produced this did a really good job. I like the instrumental choice. Just because it has this like modern alt country kind of feel to it, or even just like a classic soulful feel as well. The melody has that feel, and then the drums kick in, and you're just like, oh, okay. So it has a very like a modern flavor to it, which I think is super cool. So I like the instrumental a lot. Great choice, absolutely fantastic. Let's talk mix. Instrumental mix is solid, definitely solid, especially for what it is. Like the drums sound fantastic, and the bass is perfect. Like this definitely bangs. This probably sounds really really solid in a car. So this instrumental is right on point for sure. Nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals definitely interacted nice. I didn't think that they were like kind of clashing with it or anything. Nice and level. Nothing again that really like kind of stuck out to me for the instrumental mix for sure. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. It's got to be the drums and the bass, man. The drums and the bass is crazy. I like the melody a lot because it sets the tone, right? It has this like classic rock, alt rock kind of feel. But the drums really like put it over for me. Like really, really put it over for me. So it's got to be the drums, definitely. Just got to be for sure. So, instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocals. Okay, vocal mix. It's not bad for where it's at right now. The vocal mix is very like you could see the vision of kind of like where they wanted their vocals to land when it came to a track like this. Um, Something about the type of mix just throws it off ever so slightly. Not in like an ultimate bad way, because I do think the delivery and things like that um also have uh a part in that as well. Um, but as far as the mix goes, it's definitely level, it's definitely chill, it's definitely not doing too much, right? I definitely feel like it does throw the vibe off of the song a little bit. Um, Maybe like a little bit more darker, a little bit more kind of crispier as well. There's a certain sound you kind of want for this, right? For what I assume the vision is. We'll be able to take this back in the lab and really hunker down on the mix for sure. Um, so vocal mix definitely, again, solid for what it is. Definitely solid for what it is. Vocal shining star. Um, hmm. I'll probably go with the writing, just because it does feel like a very honest track, right? Throughout the whole song, it just feels like a very honest kind of feel. So I feel like that is one thing that totally stuck out to me. It's just an honest track. It's very like I got to get this out there kind of thing. I feel like the last like three tracks we've kind of had that honest vibe. So a lot of good songwriting going on here for sure. So for me, writing and lyrics definitely. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely drums, vocal solid, definitely the writing. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Simple but effective aesthetics, right? I think the only thing that would like throw this off for people is just seeing the same cover on like every single track, right? I think there was like a good like 50 plus tracks there with all the same cover. So I do feel like that would help new listeners kind of feel more personal with some of your tracks, right? That's one thing I definitely noticed. But for this track in particular, I don't think it's a bad placeholder at all, to be honest with you. So, um, aesthetics definitely solid for sure. Overall theme, so very interesting because like you can tell the direction that they really wanted to go with this, but I do feel like they just needed some guidance on how to properly convey this kind of emotion, right? Because they're almost there. They're almost there. But I think if they go back to the lab and kind of readjust uh, delivery and flow and cadence, I definitely think that'll help a lot. Um, but as for the overall theme, though, I definitely think again this is a very honest track from somebody that needed to get a lot of shit off their chest, right? It's definitely one thing where uh, an artist just needed to write an honest track and didn't really matter if somebody heard it, somebody didn't hear it. Like they really wrote like from the heart, and that's one thing you can tell right off the bat too. So, um, I really think again like these tracks are very healthy in the aspect that you again kind of get some shit off your chest and really get to express yourself in a healthy way. But it also, might help come to some conclusions in life, right? Like music and art can help close a lot of doors and really do a lot of things that you don't expect, right? So I do feel like this song's intentions was really really pure and solid. And that's one awesome thing about it, man. So with that said, huge shout out to Johnny Smoke. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They are approaching 2K or no 1.1, but they're approaching 1,020. So go show them some love over there on the cloud, man. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you follow Johnny on Twitter. They're approaching 1.4K on the bird app, my friend. And like I said, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, man. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, and a whole lot of good jazzes over the channel. And of course, if you've already subscribed, man, huge shout out to all you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you. We see you. So that was a very, very solid first time submission, if I do say so myself. Okay, so we left off with Johnny Smoke. Up next is Youngie. More music still be released this year. Be sure to keep on the music rotation till then. Young Tizzo and Youngie out now. Okay. So we got a little collab going down here. Okay. Let's get into it. So again, first time submitting artists, we're gonna go in super blinds. Let's see what we got here, man. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Young Tizzo. Okay, and Youngie the rapper. Okay, so we got a little three-piece on here. All right. Bet. Okay, so this is from 2022, actually. Holy moly. So this is definitely not new, but not exactly like super old, right? But let's dive in. Let's see what we have here. So, oh wow, so it looks like this project from 2022 is the only thing that they have on all platforms right now. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Okay, let's get into it. Young Tizzo, Youngie, Otis, let's go.
Amen them. It's Young Tizzo. Otis, let's go. They hate on us cause it look like champs. Got bars way harder than your sister's cramps. Young Tizzo. I've been in the gym, I don't miss my free throws. Young and OTs, yeah, that's their name, bro. Apparently, they never had a better duo. Say less, say no more. Step on the streets like we moving kilo. On the B block, never moving solo. On the B block, yeah, we leaning slow-mo. How can they hate on us? They're shocking. It's that P we pushing. Yes, I'm too sick. Of course, I'm too slick. I went to the ops and we took a pic. I do this here for the East. Global rapper and that beast. I left all my dreams to God. Ride out wave, watch out for that rod. Young, they hating on us. Why we lit. Only do my dance when I hear that drill. When we on that beat, we go straight for the kill. Young and OT's got plans to make meals. Flow so cold, you gon' feel those chills. This is a crazy number. Play this for my girl and then I bump her. Young and OT's made this random. The whole hood gon' know it's an anthem. On that drill go ASAP like Rocky. I hate it when they say I'm cocky. Siriano, Dexter be Yuki. I step on the road like Davey. I hate it when these men's envy. When it comes to feelings, they catchy. Lord bless me, no, they can't end me. Counting my greens, I'm heading to the telly. No, don't snitch, oh no telly. Youngie making noise like
2019 Genesis when we started. Now you can tell I'm the hardest regardless. I don't give a fuck about all of the competition or the ops. Yeah, I know they're one of it. First I wanna be like all of the artists. Then I saw us getting better with time. Now all of these cats are trying to be me, nigga. Don't you see? Read between the lines, man. I built different. You can tell by my songs, nigga, listen. Still don't care about the opposition. If they aiming at us, man, I know they be missing. Me and T's really on a mission. I ain't stopping till they see the vision. Fuck your ice, nigga, mine glistens. I be drilling till I break the system. And I pray my forefathers forgive me. The pain and the struggles been buried within me. But I got the love and the heart for the city. These boys ain't repping. My niggas, you kidding. She loving on you, but boy, I'm a pretty. Your bars gonna be hot there forever, litty. You mess with the gang, you ain't any pretty. These niggas I check don't even wanna come around in my city. Like nigga, like wait. Check, first so cold, but the boss goes sweeter than a Kit Kat. Niggas don't get that, so I had to tell them that the boss go hard. So them niggas don't get that, put some respect on my name. Yeah, this rapping shit ain't no game. I be breaking your mind like strange.
Oh,
no,
man.
Niggas don't get this, I don't give a damn on a rival. Only got one hand on the Bible. 15 likes on my shit going viral. Oh, you liking my shit, then I like you. Toot it up, let me pipe you. Then you go tell the ops who ain't like you. So call me a check. Nah, so call me a pick if you want it. But I'm pushing P like I'm Gunny, I'm pushing that pressure. Niggas be running with streams and views and say that they're humble, but treat your ass like you're extras, bitch.
Ooh, what the fuck? Holy shit, bro. Okay, so despite being from 2022, man, that was fucking crazy. Holy shit. Okay. All right. We got a lot to talk about here, chat. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So, the instrumental is fucking fantastic, man. Like the definition of drill for sure, especially like modern drill. Fantastic. Mix is great. I love the choice. But yeah, to double down on the mix, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Nothing that really stuck out to me that was a bit off. Vocals sit nicely, instrumental, of course. Drums cut through nicely. Sound selection is great. Super level. Definitely right where it needs to be 100%. That's definitely a fact. So instrumental mix, fantastic. You know, the melody is definitely up there for the instrumental Shining Star, but the drums are so good, man. The drums are just so fucking good. It's got to be the drum. The 808s, the slides, drum selection, fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums without a doubt. Melody's like a close second, but drums really took over here, man. Drums really, really took over here. So let's talk vocals here. Vocal mix, super fucking solid for everybody on the track, man. Like throughout the whole track, not one thing kind of threw me off about this mix. It was super crisp, absolutely knocked. Nothing again that really stuck out to me, if I'm being totally honest with you. Again, drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Super level, super crisp, clean, loud. Again, nothing that threw me off at all. So, vocal mix absolutely right where it needs to be. Vocal shining star. You know, flow and cadence is really up there, but I like the writing a lot. I like the writing a real lot. But I kind of want to go with flow and cadence just because the flow and cadence thought the whole track was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like you totally see the vision. For sure you see the vision. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery, 100%. It felt confident, it felt fresh, it felt 10 toes, if you will. So instrumental solid, definitely the drums, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. So aesthetics. Welcome to Drill City. So this is the first track off of a full-length project, and wow. Obviously, I didn't know what to expect, right? But it definitely has this like project feel to it, without a doubt. Font in the middle, artist names down below, parental advisory bottom right. Fantastic, man. Around like this faded city picture, which I assume is their local city, right? So, absolutely fantastic. To be honest with you, absolutely fantastic. Project worthy, absolutely, and aesthetics is right on point. Right on point. Simple, but again, very effective. Okay. Overall theme, right? Young Tizo. I don't think, you can really like nail down one particular theme. Like there was definitely a theme of like coming up and like really just shitting on the people that didn't believe in you kind of thing, for sure. But there's a lot of other bars and lyrics in here that you can appreciate 100%. It's definitely one of those tracks where you appreciate the lyricism, you appreciate the flow and cadence, you appreciate the punchlines. This is one that you're definitely going to spin back a couple times just to like dissect the lyrics a little bit more and really kind of like go all in. But this is definitely more of a lyrical and skill showcase for these artists. So, well done, my friends. Well done. Make sure you follow Young Tizo on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are approaching 1.4K on the Bird app. So go show them some love on Twitter, and of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers, my friend. We upload quite literally 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday, full podcast episodes, those segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there. So go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, man. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Let's fucking get it, baby. All right, chat. We're about halfway through the show, so you know what that means. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. We're gonna dive into some more community submissions when we return. So I'm gonna need all you guys to get up, go stretch your legs, go get a snack, go get a drink, maybe walk the dog, go for a smoke break, and all that good jazz. But when we return, Music Mondays podcast, we'll dive right back into the rest of our community submissions. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live with the Music Mondays podcast, episode 169. Welcome back, my friends. I'm your host, Tom Slays. I hope you all had a good break, but pretty community submissions, my friends. So let's go. Let me sip some water right quick, and we'll hop right back in. So we left off with the homie Youngie. With the Young Tizo joint. That was crazy. Up next, we got the homie Jin. Yo, my most recent joint, Beams, just dropped this past Friday. So my best rapping for really everything. A lot in this joint. Check it out. Let's fucking go. So Jin, a very talented hip hop vocalist, submitted Beams. It's been a little while since we've heard from Jin, but Music Mondays has definitely kept up for sure. But definitely excited to see what we have from the homie Jin. For sure. All right, let's get into it. Jin, Beams, let's go. Let's go.
My energy been off shit, I'm just hoping I can write again. Staring at the moon, I'm trying hard to reach that height of sin. Way past the stars, go far. All my rhymes within the chamber of toxicity, marginalized environment. Found another sample, said fuck it, then loop the record. Ain't giving this too much effort, just hoping to move progressive. This culture too oppressive, trying to fool with what I'm repping. All I do is speak my truth, and they saying I'm too excessive, redundant. Nevertheless, it's still fucking pepper these lessons and something against the message I run with. Bury my legends in nothing, putting letters while dumping every thought I collect inside of my head for a fuck with consistent drive. Pushing through different lives, existing two different lives. Respect the evil and good, manifesting through many eyes. I'm fighting to get out of this, praying to get inside. Try fighting to heal cancers and just ended up benign, huh?
Wow. Holy shit. Those drums are really crazy.
A minister of these times, present you my purest heart. I just did this shit in a rhyme, clear images redefined. In the mirror seeing God, but border on poor righteous. I guess I forgot the tithe. Gemini looking for signs. I resign to the facts, no lies. I talk about that. Hard expressing all my thoughts, my aura dying when I rap. Yeah, to heal these insecurities and confidence I lack. So seeing life's duality and put dichotomy in tracks. But it's the prisms with the system, it can morph the way I act. Conformity on every track, akin to lashes on the back. It's an ever loop in the dilemma I'm into. Looking back, so do I compromise to monetize or keep on trying to stack? Have the substance in these words, trying to distribute many lessons, even if it leave me tarnished, diminish my effervescence, make a tapestry from ink that's a never given present. Or say fuck it and keep these raps in the box and hold my presence, who knows? But bedded up, hit my sword at the weapon, so promise it ain't no letting up. I'm my only competitor, inspiration and gin, that feeling back, so I'm revving up. Pessimist with a pencil, that peak performance, my head is stuck. From heights I fall around for y'all, but fight for them, it's time to call. I ponder why my answer come from monster tears and Tylenol. Realizing I'm writing cause a moment about this time it fall. I lie in bed so anxious, I've been working just to try and stall. But it's a light that tastes like my plight, it's a mile away. Running back all of my mistakes, I just go for that right and say got a sight out of mind today. Beg the source when I rhyme this way. Realize that I relapse when I'm staring up in this quiet place. It's different from that 9th grade trauma. So I sign and wait another idea, another word to keep this type of pace. Wonder my motivation might just because my mind is stake. Another day, another dollar though, so fuck it, I'm a stake.
What the fuck? Holy shit. Wow. That was insane. That had to be some of the most like well constructed pure underground hip hop that we've heard in this year, to be honest with you. There's been a couple of highlights, but this is definitely one of them. This is definitely fucking one of them. Okay. Wow. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's give us some thoughts here. So we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Beams. So, instrumental's fantastic. I believe Jin did say that this was my most recent joint Beams just dropped this past best rapping production and really everything. Yeah, so this is produced by Jin. Pretty crazy. The instrumental is just I can't even I just can't even fathom, like, it's perfect. It's fucking perfect. Everything down to the mix, the sound selection, the sample, all of it's great. But more specifically the mix. Fantastic, like I said. Nothing clashing to overbearing. Nothing that really like stuck out to me as off-putting or anything like that. Everything's super super fucking level. Uh Again, nothing that really stuck out to me or like threw me off, you know? So instrumental mix fantastic for sure. Instrumental shining stars. There's a lot to really talk about for this instrumental, right? Like the sample's great, drums are great, but the structure is really fucking great. I feel like the structure is something that you could like neglect talking about just because you're always talking about, you know, how good the drums are or sample or this. But for me, I'm gonna go with the underrated pick here, and I'm gonna talk about the structure a little bit because I feel like the way that Jin kind of structured this instrumental to come in and come out, a lot of the fade outs are great. The outro is fucking great. But I feel like the way that this was structured was fantastic, and you definitely do not need to sleep on that aspect of it for sure. Um, so for me, definitely the structure, but drums and the melodies are right behind it, 100%. But structure is very underrated. Sure. I feel like that'd be something that you know, people just forget to talk about. But for me, structure definitely. Um, let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, absolutely crisp, super 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 fucking crisp. Like no gripes with the vocals, like whatsoever, like at all. Um, Again, like I think the big redeemer here is the um like how clean they are and how crisp they are, but they still give off that like raw feel, you know? So it's super clean, super super fucking clean. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing, nothing that really stuck out to me for the vocal mix that was like off-putting at all. Drums cut through nicely, vocals sit nice in the instrumental. Yeah, no, all around a really solid mix for the whole track, to be fair. Um, so vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Now again, vocal shining stars is even harder, just because flow and cadence is fucking crazy, writing is absolutely crazy, and the vocal structure is crazy, right? Like how everything was slowly like plotted out. Like a lot of underrated qualities here. Um, but man, writing or flow and cadence is really what I keep going back to. Really, really what I keep going back to because the writing is something that you could just keep diving in and coming back for. But the flow and cadence is what brings a lot of the energy and the hype and the aggression of this track, right? Even though it's still a very chill instrumental. Um, Man, this is tough. I don't usually have trouble with it, but you know, for the most part, though, I feel like flow and cadence and delivery made it a lot easier to absorb the lyrics. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery, but I do think writing is a close second. So instrumental solid, definitely the structure, vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme, aesthetics, beams. I mean, you couldn't have nailed this cover anymore if you really tried, right? Like, it's just an IRL photo of a beam, right? Whether it's a beam on um a gun or it's a beam like a regular like laser beam, like any kind of laser beam. You know what I mean? Show laser beams, right? Like the title beam is perfect for this, obviously, but it's simple enough to just kind of like it goes with the simple title, right? So they kind of go hand in hand. But I do feel like they complement each other a lot. Um, Overall theme, um, I wouldn't say that you need to look for like a super clear ultimate theme, right? I do feel like Jin definitely got a lot out in terms of story, but this is definitely more of a lyrical showcase and show of skill, to be honest with you. Like, this is one where you just gotta absorb it all and really find the hidden punchlines, the hidden bars, and things like that, and really like take it all in. You know what I mean? This is definitely not a track that you should listen to one time. That's for sure. But with that said, huge shout out to Jin. Thank you so much for the submission, my friend. Much love. Make sure you go follow Jin on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow Jin on Twitter. They're approaching 1.3K on the Bird app, my friend. Of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube re-upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers on the main channel, my friend. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good jazzes over there on the channel, man. We'll show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. Get it, baby. And if you already have, and you're currently subscribed to the Music Mondays YouTube channel, you might be watching this video from the channel now. We thank you and appreciate you, my friends. Let's fucking get it. So, we left off with homie Jin. Up next is Survival and Negativity, aka Sin, a very talented hip-hop vocalist, man, who's been killing it all 2024. Bringing us through the oldies, the newies, the collabs, putting us onto the homies. Sin's been going in, man. But this week they submitted Stream Part 1, Randomization. First in my series of writing exercises I used to keep the ink flowing without the constraints of structure or topic. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening. Wow, a lot of writing exercises tonight, which is fantastic. I think we did Part 1 as well of this series for Survival and Negativity, so definitely excited to dive back into this concept. So let's get into it. Survival and Negativity Stream Part 1. Get it. Bruh. Bruh. Hold on, chat. We gotta switch accounts here right quick. I forgot I was logged into the secondary account here. We on a little side burner. Okay. Quick little account switch. Bang. We good to go. Alright. Let's get back into it. Let's pop this open. Alright, here we go. Survival Negativity Stream Part 1. Let's go.
Give me any remedy for empty memories. Convince infinity to hold me in her arms. A distant energy from beyond, picking me for penning these songs. At least is what I wanna believe to belong to a higher purpose. Felt worthless too long. Now I'm searching for a rebirth through stillness and calm. Leave the earth with the songs, passenger verses from John. Just after the fat lady banter and the curtains are drawn. With the last bit of ink in my pen, lift every burden and sing aloud. And let the past sink so I can swim. Rest assured when the tide is high, I drown my songs in the wave of tomorrow. Using the present as my alibi, modify my last disguise until they modernize my analog thinking for electronic time. Syncing up like fusion dance maneuvers. Stand for the truth, planning the future where the plan is to boot. Hip-hop's alive, they've been demanding the proof. Worldwide, when they stand in the roof. It's making rhymes while we stand on the stoop. Can't stand me a stupid intruder type and using them right. Using the mic like they know what to do with it and losing their life. Could be worse, you could be losing your life. Just gotta charge it to the rap game. But what did you do for the likes? All of this so they can prove that they nice. The truth they are the best, but refusing advice. The lack of honesty bothers me, but they always go forgotten like hip-hop's connection to mathematics and God degrees. I ain't God body or godly, just using God's gift from God mode to come off guard like get off me. You can't hold me, much less hold my attention. You should plan to know me, or at best know my intentions. They trying to get lit, I'm trying to shine a light limitless on my city limits and the legends within it infinitely nice, but remain unseen. The best kept secret war between us and the well-oiled industry machine. New world order more pointed than it seems. They scheming on feeding us to each other like Soylent Green. Illuminati became a fad. A 15-minute gimmick for internet prophets to brag on false knowledge they never had. Pockets turning in his grave or reunited with a Feeney in Cuba looking sad. About to break his computer screen in half. Don't get me started. On the heartless charlatans posing as martyrs marveling at us. The falsely following the fool's gold illusion. The grand deception continues with no conclusion. Turning to channel zero where our moon landed heroes discovered they weren't the first to appear on the globe.
The fade out is crazy too. Wow, so This one was very interesting compared to the last one. I won't lie to you, Chief. Um, it gives a good insight on like how you develop the part two as well. It definitely does. So there's a couple things to talk about here, man. Definitely a couple things to talk about, and we're gonna dive in. So, we're gonna talk about three things here. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about the vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, um, instrumental. Let's talk about it. Prod Propa. Shout out Propa. Mix, fantastic. Again, nothing clashing too overbearing, especially with the sample. Drums are great. Sound selection's great. Vocals sit nicely. Nothing, nothing that really like super stuck out to me on this one. A very even and like right in the middle where it needs to kind of mix, right? Nice and loud, nice and chill. Kind of does its thing. So, definitely no gripes with the instrumental mix whatsoever. Instrumental Shining Star. Now, this is going to be very interesting because the instrumental Shining Star, right? There's a couple things that really stuck out to me. Drums definitely, but the sample usage is really crazy. The sample usage is really crazy. Really well done. So for me, I think I'm going to have to go with the sample, to be honest with you. The way that they kind of structured this sample and really utilized it, man. Yeah, to be honest, I'm going to have to go with sample. Drums are definitely a close second, though. Drums are definitely a close. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the sample. Let's talk vocals. Vocal Shining Star, or no, a vocal mix. I'm sorry. Um, fantastic. Even for 2 years ago, right? Like we've heard older survival tracks that are kind of early on, and even those mixes were super solid. So it's not really a shocker that one from 2 years ago kind of hangs with mixes now. So again, nothing clashing, too overbearing. Vocals sit right where they need to be. Nice clean mix. Drums cut through nicely, like I said. Vocals definitely sit nice. Um, a very like clear, clean, and concise mix for. But not really a shocker, right? Because like I said, Sin's kind of known for this really clean style that they've really kept consistent throughout like the majority of their tracks. So, um, again, not a shocker, but something I always want to point out for anybody new. Very important. Very, very, very important. So, vocal mix solid. Vocal Shining Star. So, what's really cool about this is the writing is like really fantastic, especially for like a writing exercise, right? But I also do feel like the flow and cadence was super fucking solid on this. Like really, really solid. Just because it made you again focus on the lyrics super heavy. But it was super just had such a good rhythm to it, right? Like the cadence was confident, like everything like there's a lot of small things um with the flow and cadence that I just really enjoyed for sure. Writing's definitely a close second, but flow and cadence and delivery has a big part in this for sure. So for me, flow and cadence and delivery 100%. So instrumental solid, definitely a sample. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Let's talk theme. So aesthetics, crazy, crazy ass cover. Definitely gives me that like futuristic, almost like psychedelic kind of vibe going on too, but it's still a bit more clear, and it has this like tone that has this like watercolor esque feel to it as well. So definitely a solid like single aesthetic for sure, especially for like a freestyle somewhat upload. So I like the direction definitely. You got a lyric video and description, which is sick too. Um, Overall theme, I mean, quite obvious, right? It's a series of writing exercises as to where um, it doesn't really focus too hard on stories or making songs make sense or anything like that. So again, this is definitely more of a um, lyrical and writing showcase, right? I definitely think this is an artist that just wants to sharpen the sword, so to speak, right? And I definitely think they accomplished that goal here without a doubt. Um, and you know what? Even though it is kind of like a writing exercise, right? I do feel like you can still make some sense of it, right? Like survival isn't just throwing words at shit, right? Like you still fully like get taken on a journey for sure. So, with that said, a huge shout out to Survival and Negativity. Make sure you go follow them on SoundCloud. They're one follower away from 260 at a great milestone. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They are 6 followers away from 350. Go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers on the main channel, my friend. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, Saturday. Full podcast episode, 2 segments, whole lot of good jazz. Go show these artists on the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friend. Much love. So, boy, oh boy. All right, chat. Continuing on, let's go. All right, so we have a first time submitting artist on Wooka. Greetings, y'all. Just followed your page. Here's a lyric video to the ending track on the latest Insomniac on Wooka final. Okay, so a little Insomniac collaborator. All right. Let's get it. Rapper, writer. I have 3 EPs. Okay. So we got a little library here. Okay. Say less. We love a good lyric video. Oh. All right. So, we'll pause that real quick. All right. So per usual, first time submitting artist. So we're going in blind. We don't really know what to expect. Brand new, literally not even a week old. Warzone Soldier on Wooka. Let's get it.
See me scoping like a war zone soldier. Shotties for a moment, yet he know it's not over. Say it's for peace, but it's cold when it was a lot colder. He wants to pop, he's like a sponge next to your toaster. Say when I stop to speak, my evil eyes smolder. Don't cop my pizza like beware sign posters. As though they want you like some kind of pork shoulder. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. Going off like gas grenades and trenches of war zones, bruh. Shot by the loaded, cut nose, blade, super boulder. Started to go, but you're not even the bench to be a soaker. Intellectual, fly with green on me like the vulture. My group made me stand out, tell like I'm so much bolder. True moves are tainted, grown to a giant like a sequoia. If they bright, then my mind shining like a Mayan sculpture. In the booth, in the power, it's hard to see, hope it does. This player trying to move a win like a Hoya. While these lame fools be tricking like they are some Sawyer. Run with the honey, the ball like Rihanna for New Yorkers. Ignite a richer rider like Nova as he explode up. Yet it's difficult to not end up alone. I got the cynical concept paranoia that would destroy ya. Which why I'm scoping like a war zone soldier. I see me scoping like a war zone
Okay.
soldier. Shotsies for a moment, yet he know it's not over. Say it's for peace, but it's cold, but there was a lot colder. He wants to pop, he's like a sponge next to your toaster. Say when I stop to speak, my evil eyes smolder. Don't cop a pizza like beware sign posters. As though they roast you like some cut up pork shoulder. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. Scoping and creeping as if it's silent heel. Even frozen with speaking such a silent chill. Imposing force reaching towards me to fire at will. Unspoken darkness like the evening starts to reveal. Watch it burning grass like suicidal pilots feel. Pretty sure my past life was a vital cycle for real. You're an detective empathy trapped in a silo of steel. Catch it to the urge in my path, that's for Osiris to wield on. Urge to dance with Jesse guides of a seal. A firm brass straight up in a dress of violet and seal. Convict this type of passion, hold it like an award. Strike of an assassin, O goes in sicker than a ward. A flow be violent slashing when I'm stroking them bars. Make 'em holographic like some Pokemon cards. Oh, my hand will buy with antics like the boy Moth. And time to Wooka back at it, yes, we're going to war. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. Shotsies for a moment, yet he know it's not over. Say yes for peace, but it's cold, but no, it's a lot colder. He wants to pop, he's like a sponge next to your toaster. Say when I stop to speak, my evil eyes smolder. Don't cop a pizza like beware sign posters. And some of the Wooka's arms cross you like a shoulder. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. I see me scoping like a war zone soldier. Shotsies for a moment, yet he know it's not over. Say yes for peace, but it's cold, but there was a lot colder. He wants to pop, he's like a sponge next to your toaster. Say when I stop to speak, my evil eyes smolder. Like a war zone soldier.
Wow. Fantastic, man. Absolutely fucking fantastic. I got a lot to say about this. Because this is one of those songs where an artist kind of took a simple concept, right, and really fucking ran with it. and I think they did a really good job. So, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's talk about a few things here. So, we're talking about three things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of Warzone Soldier. So, man, oh man, all right. Instrumental, fantastic to be honest with you. Mix is great. Has this like unique, Insomniac kind of flavor to it. Insomniac has a really cool taste in instrumentals as far as being a producer goes. So you can always expect these like unconventional beats for sure. But as far as the mix goes, great. Nothing clashing, too overbearing at all. Nothing that kind of like stuck out to me that was a bit off. Not really a shocker for somebody like Insomniac. They definitely have a real solid lock on their instrumentals and kind of what they envision them to sound like, right? So instrumental mix, fantastic. But you always want to point out for anybody who's new as well. Pretty cool. Instrumental Shining Star. You know, probably the drums. I feel like the drums were very prominent here. And it kept up with like this rhythm and gave this like flow and cadence like such an influence and it really stuck out to me, to be honest with you. So probably drums, especially with the sound selection as well. So yeah, drums definitely the instrumental Shining Star for sure. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix. Super solid, super clear, crisp, clean. Definitely no gripes with the vocal mix. Now, this is a first time submitting artist. So, you definitely never know what you're going to get, but this is definitely someone with a solid, raw voice. So, you kind of want to exploit that a bit and make it as crispy as possible, but not too processed, right? So, I kind of feel like they hit that nice middle ground as to where their voice ended up sounding like really, really solid on this instrumental. So, vocal mix absolutely on point. Vocal Shining Star. You know, writing is up there, but I think flow and cadence and delivery really took this to like a whole new level. And again, it really made you pay attention and really dissect the lyrics even more. So for me, flow, cadence, and delivery, not even a question. But writing is definitely like a close second. Um, So instrumental solid, definitely the drums. Vocal solid, definitely the flow and cadence and delivery. Um, so we're gonna talk visual, theme, aesthetic somewhat. Obviously no cover to kind of dive into, but we will talk about the lyric video here for a second. But as far as the theme goes, I think what's really amazing about this is, again, like you see artists kind of take this like simple theme. It could be about anything. It could be about food. It could be about a story, a car, a girl, literally anything, right? Like, and you take this simple subject and you kind of expand upon it and you kind of dive into it and you're like, okay, like, how can I write a song about something so broad, right? You know, Warzone Soldier. It's like, okay, like, where do I go with this? And this is, you know, such a telltale sign of like a talented writer because they could just take something and go with it. Like, oh, here's a theme, write about this. And then they kind of take some time, you know, but they usually come back with something like this. And it becomes this like aha moment as to where like you use your lyrical skill, your writing skill to kind of like show off with like such a simple theme, which I think is fantastic. And I think that's what we have here. I think they did a really good job kind of expanding upon it, giving out some like small like Easter eggs and shouts and a lot of punchlines that were like very much on theme and brand for a track like this, you know? So it was really cool to pick out. And I think the visual kind of aided in that as well. Not only do we have the great war visuals in the background, but the lyrics on screen always helps any new viewer or really just gives a little bit more personality to any track. So I think the visual is like a total A plus for me. I think more artists need to put a lot of these out for sure, just because it supplements, you know, the main track itself. But with that said, well done, my friend. Well done. Huge, huge, huge shout out to on Wuka. Thank you so much for the submission. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They are 3 subs away from 50. And of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They are 7 followers away from 690. So show them some love, the Bird app, my friends. And of course, Every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube upload. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday and Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, all that good jazz is over there on the channel. So make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love. If you already have, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays. Let's fucking get it. So, we left off with a wonderful first time submitting artist. And up next, we have another first time submitting artist by the name of Swizzy. Hi, my name is Swizzy. I just dropped my first single of the year today. Please lend me your ears. Let's fucking get it, homie. I am down. I am absolutely down. Let's see here. So, art and music. Listen to my latest single here. Okay. Say less. All right. We got Spotify, the whole usual. Let's pop open Spotify and see what's out here. So they mentioned this is their first song of 2024. Again, first time submitting artist. We don't really know what we're about to get into. Wow, so they definitely have a decent catalog for sure. A couple of EPs, some singles, 2023. Okay, love that. Love that. All right. Let's hop in with the latest. Let's get into it. First time submitting artist, Swizzy. Let's go.
Baby.
Seen a lot of girls that I'm tired, but now you I want. Your love make me so much soft. Shawty got me going, drinking up and under my eye. For you I don't know, got me feeling for your touch. I got you on sight, as I get you from my side. Yeah, you always bring the vibe.
Okay.
If you leave me, I'll go by. I'll be running to you when I want it. All these other girls can't give me loving. Come on now, baby. Show you I'm feeling. I need to get closer. Bend down when you dance, my closer. Your body on fire, make me want to spend my rapper. And you get come closer, bend down when you dance my closer. Your body on fire, make me want to spend my rapper.
Okay. Yeah, what a first time submission, man. Fantastic. Definitely something like outside the norm too, right? Like we get those dance type tracks every once in a while, but this one was like really up there, man. Really up there. So, let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's dive in. So, first time submitting artist, like I said, but we're gonna talk about 3 things per usual. We're gonna talk about the instrumental. We're gonna talk about vocals, and we're gonna talk about the overall theme of this track. So, instrumental, fantastic. I love the choice, especially for the vision, right, and what you were kind of really wanting to create here. So I love the choice off rip. Mix is very solid, nothing clashing, too overbearing, nice and loud and crisp and clean. Everything kind of has its own space, nothing that's really clashing or bothering anything whatsoever. So instrumental mix, definitely solid. Instrumental shining star. Now, Um, the drums are up there in terms of like rhythm, right? I think the drums have like a really solid uh part in this, but I do feel like the melodies were very memorable and summer like and dance like, and kind of had like a good vibe to it. So, um, for me, definitely the melodies here. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, so instrumental solid, definitely the melodies. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix, fantastic. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing. Um, drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that like ultimately threw me off at all there either. Especially for a first time submission, that's something you're curious of. But vocal mix definitely on point for sure. Um, super crisp, clean, nice and level. Nothing that really like stuck out to me that was a bit off, especially for this style. I feel like they hit the nail on the head for uh vocal mix solid. Vocal shining star. See, the whole thing is super melodic and super catchy, but writing's definitely up there, and probably the hook is up there too. Like I like the hook a lot. Um, hmm. Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go ahead and say the hook, to be honest. Just because it was so memorable and catchy, and the whole thing just kind of pieced together so well. Um, yeah, definitely the hook, definitely. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody, vocal solid, uh, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics, fantastic cover, to be honest with you. Like especially for something like okay, first single of the year, kind of want to go simple. You guys know how I feel about these IRL covers, right? So, always a safe choice. You're not doing it for crazy. Always going to be super attractive and personal for any new listener to kind of see this, and you're like, you put a face to the artist, etc., etc. So, always a safe bet here for sure. So aesthetics on point. Overall theme, we definitely have a little bit more of like a love romantic ballad here, but it's not fully right. It's definitely more still of a full summer song as well. And kind of just makes you want to have fun, have a good time. It's very relaxing. It has this ultimate innocence to it, but it is still kind of like has this like soft romance undertone, which I think they did really well with. So, well done, my friend. Well done. Make sure you go follow Swizz on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter as well. They're approaching 1.2K on the Bird app, so go show them some love over there on Twitter. Huge, huge shout out to Swizz for the submission. And of course, make sure you follow every single artist. They'll be linked in the description per usual of every single episode. Make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subscribers on the main channel, my friend. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episode, exclusive segments, a whole lot of good stuff is available on the channel. Make sure you go show these artists in the channel some motherfucking love, baby. Let's get it. And of course, if you already have it, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, and we see you. Much, much love, baby. Let's get it. So, we left off with a first-time submitting artist, Swizz. Up next, we have Offspring Mysterious, a Music Mondays artist veteran. Has had a solid 2024, right? Consistent uploads. Really a artist of all trades, right? Graphic designer, writer, editor, filmer, producer, like so many great things that Offspring has their hands in. This week they submitted music, art, final showdown. Let's pop this open a new tab and see what we got here, chat, because I am down for the cause. All right, new Offspring. We out. Actually, this is from last year, so this is definitely one we haven't seen, but definitely not super old either. So let's get into it. Offspring Mysterious music, art, final showdown. Great intro as well. I like the filter. The filter is definitely a good addition. Oh. Shit. Not again. Becoming a common theme now. Okay. Oh my god. I would have died trying that. Okay, this was crazy. Okay. Okay. Excellent description. Audio and description as well. Alright, so a couple of things to talk about here, for sure. So we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about the instrumental, and we're gonna talk about this edition of art. So, instrumental. Let's talk mix. Fantastic. Offspring has always had a really solid mix for any audio, new or old, that we've heard. Very level, very clean. Nothing that sticks out that's like off-putting at all. Nothing clashing. Sound selection's good. Definitely right where it needs to be as far as an instrumental goes. So, definitely no gripes with the instrumental mix. Instrumental Shining Star, on the other hand, see, the drums are up there, and the structure too, but the melody has this like final theatric kind of feel to it that I feel like Offspring was really going for. And I think they nailed it. Like, in addition to the drums, definitely, but the melody has this movie like feel to it. It really does, but it's still very much like unique in its own way. It's definitely not like trying to be something, which is great. Because it has this like almost like old school hip hop element to it as well, but it's very much like wide and has a lot of personality. So for me, it's got to be the melody for sure. I feel like that was a big crucial element to that as well. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Music art. So again, these are kind of shorts for Offspring Mysterious Singles, which I think they've done a fantastic job with throughout their whole journey with this. This one is actually from a year ago, but we haven't seen it yet on the show. And there's a couple things that I really like here, like the addition of the the wall hitting is fantastic. Because that's 2 weeks in a row that this has been edited in, so it was a good shout. But the major difference here is the filter. I feel like the filter added a very much like personal, quote unquote, final showdown aspect that I think Offspring was going for. So I do see the vision here. You know what I mean? Like it definitely felt like one of those anime-esque like final showdowns. But at the same time, this is the first time that we've seen on the show Offspring kind of nail it in this fashion. But I do think they did a really good job with this. Short, sweet, to the point, right? But they get a lot done in this short amount of time. But also, I think one thing that's super redeeming about this, and probably the Shining Star, is a lot of the post-processing, right? A lot of the transitions, the filter itself, like the cuts, all great, man. All great. So for me, Shining Star for music art is definitely the post-processing, for sure. For sure. With that said, huge shout out to Offspring Mysterious. Thank you so much for much love. Make sure you go sub to their channel. They are 3 subs away from 210. We'll show them some love over there on the tube, man. And of course, make sure you go follow Offspring on Twitter. They are 5 followers, I'm sorry, away from 920. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the Music Mondays YouTube channel if you haven't watching to 70 subscribers on the main channel, my friend. Make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, Saturday. Full podcast episode. A whole lot of good jazz over. Again, make sure you go show these artists on the channel some love. And if you already have, thank you. We appreciate you here at Music Mondays, my friends. Fucking get it, baby. So, let's continue on. Let's see, I have to sneeze, hold on. Bless me and excuse me. Okay, so we left off with the homie Offspring Furious. And up next we have Ren of Forever, a first time submitting artist again. So lots of first time submissions here. Excellent, 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 excellent. We love that. So, dark pop R&B artist, producer, management, one half of We Are Forever. Enough by We Are Forever, and 7 minutes to. Okay. So a little like collective kind of collaboration going. All right, bet. Say less. All right, so first time submitting artist. Let's get into it. Enough.
You now have 7 minutes to forever, ever. Keep looking like we got more time today.
Holy shit.
Ain't worried about no other life. You steady wasting all my funds away. Can't do this shit for all my life. Keeping quiet. I need peace and silence. In the afterlife, better yet tonight. Lonely nights are heaven. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I don't know what to say. I've been losing my mind, trying to keep up.
Oh man.
Baby, I give up. I had enough of you. I've been losing myself, trying to be there for you. It's not enough, no, it's not enough. Enough. You got me guarded up. I don't need somebody. Enough. Here, when you see the drama, he's a gunner, he's a keeping quiet.
Wow.
I need peace and silence.
Holy shit.
In the afterlife, better yet tonight. Lonely nights are heaven. I've had enough. You heard me, baby, we said I've had enough. I've given up permanent. I've had enough. Oh, you hear me? I've had enough. I don't know what to say.
Oh man. Wow. Holy sh. What a first time submission, man, especially from like this side of sounds, man. This is like, come on. This is actually fucking nuts. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna talk about two things here. We're gonna talk about the or no, I'm sorry, we're gonna talk about three things. We're talking about the instrumental, we're talking about vocals, and we're talking about the overall theme of this track. So let's dive in, let's break it down, because there's a lot to discuss here, chat. A lot to discuss. So let's talk instrumental. Insane, absolutely fucking insane. I love the sound selections for everything. Melodies are great. Yeah, nothing clashing too overbearing. Nothing that really like stuck out to me as like a bit off or like annoying or repetitive or anything like that. I feel like the mix is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Especially for a first time submission, definitely like really solid, super level, right where it needs to be. So instrumental mix solid. Instrumental shining star. Man, I'm really leaning towards the melodies. Like structure's up there too. Drums are a great support, have a lot of rhythm, but the melodies were so like just prominent and very like club like almost. Made you want to like get up and go kind of thing. So for me, definitely the melodies, 100%. But structure and drums are a good close second. So instrumental solid. Let's talk vocals. Vocal mix is fantastic. Again, it has this like electronic alt pop kind of feel to it. Processing is perfect. Not too much going on. Again, nothing clashing to overbearing. Drums cut through nicely. Vocals sit nice. Nothing that really, again, kind of stuck out to me that like I would change or anything like that. I feel like it's right on point. Really, just like quite the perfect middle ground for a track like this. 100%. Because like the melodic parts are super prominent and everything is done right in this. That's a fact. Uh, the vocal mix solid, vocal shining star. Now, I could say writing in general, right? I feel like the whole song is really well written, but I kind of want to say the hook. The hook is really really fucking crazy because the rhythm, the feel, the kind of overall like direction it went was just like it had you hooked. It definitely had you hooked for no pun intended. So for me, probably the hook, but I'd say writing is like a close second though. But yeah, definitely the hook. So instrumental solid, definitely the melody. Vocal solid, definitely the hook. Let's talk theme. Aesthetics. Go. Fantastic fucking cover. Fantastic cover. For a couple of reasons, right? You guys know how I feel about certain IRL covers. I feel like a lot of the IRL covers do really well. Safe to use, always like just always a safe bet. Really personal. And you can kind of edit it, do whatever you want to it. But this one has this like blue aura to it, right? Blue purplish aura, and having yourself on the cover is always a W. Like always a fucking W. Just because it's a safe bet, right? But this one kind of has this really solid direction to it that I feel like it's great for a single and definitely makes it very personal. So aesthetics absolutely on point. Um, Overall theme relatively simple enough, right? I've had enough. It's definitely like super clear in the lyrics, but I do feel like I do feel like the collaborative writing here is great because it's almost from like two different perspectives, but not two people that are together. It's two people that are almost like experiencing the same thing, at the same time. So again, kind of along the lines of a lot of tracks tonight, as to where the very honest, vulnerable, kind of solid theme here when it comes to like actually dissecting the writing, right? It's a very honest place to put yourself in. Sometimes you just got to get a lot of that shit out. You do when it comes down to like certain experiences or stuff you're going through in your life and things like that. A lot of great songs come from shit. Definitely one of those that's like fueled by passion and like IRL kind of insight as well. You know what I mean? So very very fucking important. Very important. Um, but overall, solid theme, well done, insane first time submission. Make sure you go follow Forever on Spotify, and of course, make sure you go follow them on Twitter. They're approaching 810 followers, quite literally 2 followers away. So make sure you go show them some love over there on the Bird app, my friends. And of course, every artist featured in today's episode and every single episode will be linked in the description of the YouTube. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the music YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're approaching 270 subroonies, man. We upload 2 times a week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Full podcast episodes, exclusive segments, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazzes over there, man. So go show these artists and the channel some motherfucking love. Let's get it, baby. All right, chat. That's gonna do it for tonight's submissions, man. We had just a crazy lineup. That was insane. That was absolutely fucking insane. With that said, we're going to talk about what's coming on Music Mondays over the course of the next week or so. We're going to give some shout outs to some people. We're going to show love to all the submissions. We're going to talk about what's coming on Mondays this week and all that good jazz. So let's get into it, chat. Let's have a little chit chat here. So, let's talk about it. Let's give some shout outs. Let's show some love. So, huge shout out to everybody that submitted, tuned in, and showed love. Huge shout out to all of our Patreons as well. Huge shout out to Jordan, Mark, Ryuki, Blank Thought, and Kruker. You guys are fucking awesome, man. Thank you so much for sticking around and becoming Music Mondays Patreons. And huge shout out to everybody that submitted tonight. Jordan, huge shout out to Mishka, I Am Legend, Convini, Johnny Smoke, Youngie, Jin, Survival Negativity, Onawuka, Swizz, Offspring, Ren, and everybody else that submitted, tuned in, and showed motherfucking love, baby. Huge shout out to everybody that tuned in and showed love in the chat tonight, man. Huge shout out to Loudest and anybody else that lurked and chilled, man. You guys are fucking amazing. So thank you for coming through, showing some motherfucking love, man. Thank you. So, let's see here. Per usual, like I said, April's gonna be pretty stacked as far as Music Mondays content goes. We got a lot of album talks in the works. We're still planning out some rough stuff for that. You'll see a lot of those announcements come pretty soon. Music Mondays merch is still available right now, so make sure you get in contact with us and get your Music Mondays basic logo t-shirt. And of course, Cyberfest 2 planning is in the works as well, so expect a lot of major announcements from us and a Patreon update. So a couple things are happening right now, Music Mondays, man. But of course, your monthly and weekly content will stay the same. Submissions for next week's episode open tomorrow. So if you're watching this live, make sure you look out for the tweet. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check the tweet and check the date and drop your links, man. Let's fucking get it. 170 next week. 170. And of course, the top 3 artists of tonight's episode will be tweeted out shortly after the show ends. And again, make sure you stream Music Mondays at anchor.fm/allmusicmondays. You can find all the Music Mondays podcast episodes over there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Make sure you go follow our socials as well at All Music Mondays, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. And of course, sub to the channel, man. We're like 10 subs away from 270, so road to 270 is started, baby. And of course, you can follow me at ZomSlays. I stream quite literally 6 days a week. Follow, subscribe below, everything linked below. All my socials, all that good stuff is linked down below. You'll see a lot of cool stuff go up for Music Mondays this week, man. So again, make sure you follow, stay tuned, follow us on all socials at All Music Mondays. And again, I love you guys. Be safe. It's your boy ZomSlays. We'll see you next week for episode 170 of the Music Mondays podcast. And of course, make sure you follow the channel, man, because we're live literally 6 days a week. We're always streaming, gaming, watch partying, doing a bunch of jazz. So make sure you come through and show some love, man. Let's fucking get it. But we'll see you next week for episode 170 of the Music Mondays podcast. Later.